During sitting, some lights, orange or white colors, appear at the corner of the noting vision. Is this a sign a yogi is attached to the light or too much energy at that time? Could Bhante explain further? During sitting, some lights, orange or white colors, appear at the corner of the noting vision. Is this a sign a yogi is attached to the light or too much energy at that time? Could Bhante explain further? Okay. Now, the lights. Every yogi, when you meditate, there will be some kind of lights that arises in your practice at a certain time. This type of lights, as because it occurs in every yogi, then it is part of, other words, it's part of a natural thing, part of a natural progression. Some yogis see more lights, some yogis see less light. Some yogis sees array of lights like different colors. Some yogis sees usually one type of light, one color. Some yogis sometimes sees like color, moving around. Sometimes some yogis sees the color at just one spot. So how you visualize the colors, these are depending on your nature. It doesn't matter which type of lights come in. They are all just creation of the mind and also connected with the body somehow. Let's not go into it too much. But the lights appear. The thing is that when these lights appear, especially during the sitting meditation, these type of lights, they are not in the beginning. They are not, because it's natural. Usually the yogis, in the beginning they saw it and then they are not used to it yet. In the beginning, the craving actually doesn't come in that strong yet, not there yet. Yeah? But because if they are not mindful, or because they have past perception already, past perception, in other words, they have past certain theoretical understanding or certain theoretical understanding, or sometimes certain Dhamma talk, some monks or what they read in the books. And then they interpret that this type of lights are something special, something great or something wonderful. So that is because of their past perception that they have. Then immediately when they have this type of lights arises, the mind quickly goes into the lights. Then that's where craving immediately arises because of the wrong understanding is there. Because of the wrong understanding, very quickly that particular yogi begins to attach to the lights. That means the craving is already there. Now when the craving comes in, it comes in with some signs, It's like somehow or another you begin to like the lights. Now this type of lights, it can be quite prominent. Certain times they can be quite prominent and they can take up your sitting time quite a period of time, quite a long period of time. That means they are there. That means they can be there, they can change, they can do whatever it is. Now, if you're mindful about the lights, your job is just to note them as they are. Seeing, or lights, or color, or spotlight, whichever lah. Doesn't matter as long as you note them. When you note them, as long as you don't interpret what is going on. You don't interpret that whether this is some people interpret that this is a Buddha's light, Dhamma's light, Sangha's light, whatever light. Sometimes they interpret is their chakra. Sometimes they interpret is their chi. You know? they, they will do all kinds of interpretation if they don't have a proper understanding about all these type of lights. Yeah? Or they even sometimes, the thing is that sometimes they even think that the light is wisdom. Because a lot of times the Buddha used the word light as wisdom. For example, you use the word light when you turn on a light, when you have a light or the fire, it clears away the darkness. So the light is if like wisdom, and darkness is like ignorance, moha. And because of that, sometimes people use the word light as wisdom, and they are literally use the word light as wisdom, or light is wisdom, not as wisdom. No, light is wisdom. So they use this type of light, and they try to, like, for example, you shine it to objects of your meditation. When you shine it to the object of meditation, you think that it's going to see things clearly. No, it's not like that. This is not a torchlight. No, it's not like that. Wisdom is, you use it as a metaphor, you use it as a simile, but wisdom is not in the sense of light. Wisdom is a sense of you see things clearly in its detailed manner. That means the mind sees everything is whatever is going on. Sometimes some yogis, they thought that if the mind's inside no brightness, as if there's no brightness, but they can still notice rising, falling, changing, things are still going on quite well. But they felt that this is not enough, this is wrong because there's no light around there. And because of that, the whole meditation slows down. Although object is right in front already. Wrong interpretation. Yeah. So because of that, they use this type of lights as if like these are something special. They use it for all kinds of whatever reason. Then other words, the craving is already at behind already. The craving or the attachment is already at the background. And this type of craving, they can become strong. Because next time in the sitting, when the craving is there, that means you begin to desire it already. That means you begin to want it to come again and again, sitting after sitting. Because how you interpret it, how you think about that light, whether it's a Buddha's light or whether this light or that light, or whether this is a wisdom light, because of that, the sign is that the next sitting and the further sitting, you want to look for those lights again and again. It's no more like looking at the object carefully, but it's the light. When this happens, it shows that the craving is already there. You can interpret it no matter how you want to interpret it. And you want to interpret it through the way of Dhamma, way of whatever, how, because this type of light, sometimes Chinese are 佛光. Correct. All this one, all everything, then all this type of attachment comes in. So when it comes in, because it's all connected to Buddha, Dhamma, wisdom, and people thought that this is something great, but they forget that behind it is just craving. And that craving is hard to see, really hard to see, because at the top there, when the attachment is there, usually comes with liking already, come with something that is pleasant. The like, it's pleasant. And so it already comes with a light that is pleasant. You want to look for it again and again. Because for you, when you look for it, there is improvement. No likes, no improvement. Yeah. So a lot of times yogis tend to, misinformed yogis tends to meditate, and then they seek out for these lights. And when they seek out for these lights, sometimes after they retreat, they go back, sit down on the coffee table, sit down on the table while they eat. Then they talk about their meditation experiences, talk about their lights. They don't talk about their pain. They don't talk about pain here and there. They talk about the lights. Yeah, something special, something esoteric, something wonderful. Pain is very regular, nothing to talk about. But this type of things is something different. So because of that, then other yogis become misinformed. Other yogis or other devotees become misinformed. And then when they start off with meditation, then again, they meditate, then the lights come in, then they get attached to these type of things. Yeah. So when these things happen, when these type of lights happen, your job as a yogi is to note them only. That seeing lights, light. If they are moving, if they are changing, then note them seeing. See how they change. See how they change. If sometimes the lights, while it is happening, then it's just spotted, and it doesn't kacau you. It doesn't disturb you. For example, these type of lights are just now, as according to the question, it's just at the corner of your noting mind, noting vision. So if you're just at the corner, you're aware of it. You're aware of it, it's there. But because your object is still prominent, then you note the object. Let the lights be there. Don't uh, don't make it go away. Don't make it go away. Don't wish it to stay also. Don't wish it to go away. Let it be, because it is not a prominent object right now. So you just note your object. Just note your object there. Yeah? You note your object, what is going on. If the lights after that it becomes prominent, then you noting on the lights. See whether it changed or not. It doesn't change, then leave it at the background again, back again to the body objects, or whichever pain or other sensation is there. So come back again to the object of your main object of your meditation. So if you do like that, the lights are still around, that means the craving is not around. The craving is prevented from arising because the mindfulness is still noting on other objects. So that when the mindfulness is there, that craving is not there. The lights can still be there. So, as long as you don't push it away, some people thought that, again, on the other extreme, they thought that light is not the right thing. Maybe they do vipassana, they thought that not the right thing, so they try to push it away. Again, when you push it away, also it's not right. Other words, when you try to push it away, then the dislike is there. Instead of liking, instead of craving, now a little bit of annoyance, a little bit of aversion, a little bit of dislike on the lights is there. So it's already, so you go on to the other extreme, if you don't notice it. So the lights are not the problem. As long as you're mindful, noticing them, then well and good. So as I said, this type of lights can be quite long. It arises for some yogis, can be quite long. So you pay attention to it. If it doesn't disappear, then just leave it at the background, then go to other objects. You go to other objects. So if you don't interpret it, then well and good. Then your vipassana is on the right track. But if you interpret it, you're going to interpret it with all kinds of words and all kinds of belief, or all kinds of your past perception. This is where your mind starts to bias already. You go into sideway already. You start bias. The craving, it begins a lot to do with the craving. And because of the craving, wants it, like it, And he wants it again and again in sitting after sitting, retreat after retreat. With this type of things, it builds up. This type of craving builds up into what we call the pride arises. Yeah? The pride arises. This type of pride arises when it begins to compare other yogis that I have the light, you don't have the light. My light, it's a special light. My light, this type of light can give rise to enlightenment type of light. Yeah. That means, other words, the I is already there. Yeah. My light is very bright. My light is like going through the whole body. My light, this light, that light, they start to interpret already. They interpret it into such a thing that as if like the light and them, they're identified. They identify with themselves with these lights. That means, other words, the mana, the conceit has already arises during this time. So it's begin to compare with other people and that they are great yogi, they are great meditator, and so on. Then, as I said again, a number of times, this type of lights, when they begin to, as this thing begins to grow and grow, what does it become later on? From pride, it becomes wrong view. Exactly. It becomes wrong view. Wrong view, when it starts to become wrong view, that means you believe it that this light is, for example, is Nibbana. This light, it's Buddha's light. Actually, the Buddha's light already. Cannot be other light already. So they already believe already. Totally wrong view already this time. Yeah? They believe that this light is something special, can penetrate into all phenomena. These type of lights, they can this type of light is nibbana already. You meditate. So out there you don't see all these lights. When you come into meditation, you see these lights. So you believe that this light is nibbana. Or if you are doing a samatha meditation, this light is jhana. You already reached the jhana already. So this wrong view arises because, again, it's all because of this pride is being repeated again and again. You think of it that this is something special, that you are there, and you begin to believe that this is something. You believe that this is a nibbana, or this is a jhana, or this is something, a special type of light. So all this type of belief, it builds up from that craving. From that craving, it takes some time for it to grow. Some people, it may take a while, maybe some years. Some people just within the one retreat 搞了. Wrong view. Not nibbana, wrong view. And once they have that wrong view, when they have that wrong view, no matter how you tell them, they're not going to believe it already. They're not going to believe that. They believe that they are right already. Yeah. The worst thing is that with this type of light, with this type of wrong view, they go back and they start to share it with a lot of people. When they share it with a lot of people, that is where a whole generation of these people is covered up with all kinds of wrong view. And it's easily, as I said, it's quite easy for people to listen to these type of things, because these things is when you develop, and then somebody give this type of talks about lights, about seeing things and so on, more people will love to hear all these type of thing. They don't want to hear again what they want to hear. They don't want to hear pain. You tell them pain, they don't want to hear, but hear about lights. Hear about this light now, you can see the Deva world. People song ka liao. No, they will come and listen to all your talk. Uh, uh, uh. I've seen, I mean, the things I have talked about here, I mean, I've seen it in every now and then people give talks. And then sometimes when they talk about things, they like to talk about these special devas, special lights, and all that. And sometimes I read about monks, but when you read about this monk, is somebody else wrote about the monk, especially certain tradition, and they like to love to write about other monks, and especially when you write about other monks, you write about their special powers, and their special powers is not noting the pain again. Special powers is about deva, it's about you have certain miracles that the monk can do, and so on, and devotees love that. A lot of devotees love this type of things. So something very special, something very unique, something that the monk have something very unique ability. Whatever they have, usually for me, are just, yeah, of course, if you have that, well and good. May you be well and happy. That's about it, I'm not going to take in anything else. Because to me, those type of things, they are not really, I mean, they could be dharma for a lot of people, but it's not deep enough to really penetrate into realization of nibbana. So this, well, something like that. So this type of lights, as I said, if they are not disturbing you, they are just at a corner, then just keep noting. If they becomes prominent, all you need to do is just note them. So you note them, the craving doesn't come in, you're still in the progress of vipassana. But the moment you start to interpret them, you comment on them, you believe them, or you want them again and again, that is where your whole path is going out already from vipassana. Uh, this is something. This is something on the lights here. But nevertheless, next time, when you have lights, you're meditating, which is also a good sign, because every time when lights come in, you're not sleepy. You're not drowsy. It's always alert. So leave it there. Leave it there. In fact, that one of the ways we overcome sloth and torpor is the Buddha recommend the perception of light. That means you purposely create the light in the mind, aware of it, to overcome the sleepiness. Then when it's the sleepiness overcome, you drop the light, then back again to whatever meditation that you are in. So you see, when the lights are there, they are very helpful to keep the mind awake. You are not the lights are there. It does not mean you are you are not like over concentration or over effort and so on. No, it's not that. It's just natural. So the lights are there. It helps to keep the mind alert. It's there. It keeps the mind alert. But if the lights become like internal, like illumination lights, it becomes like totally overwhelming one, as if like you're looking at this spotlight up here. That one, too much effort already. As if like the whole big light right in front of you. No matter how you note your object, then that time you cannot note anything. That means there's too much effort already this time. This type of too much effort, and sometimes it comes with the lights. For example, let's say if you do your sitting and touching, you do your sitting and touching. Then let's say this time you do sitting and touching, sitting, touching, sitting, touching, sitting, touching, you just run, you're round here. You got, let's say, got three spots or four spots you take. So you just touch and go, 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 touch and go. You just go around like that. Then after that, when you stop already, you see that the whole mind become very bright, super bright, But after that, you cannot note anything. You're not sleepy. You're not sleepy. Yeah. You're not sleepy, but your mind is very bright. But you cannot do anything. Because that effort that you do in noting the sitting and touching very fast, go round and round and round now very fast, just touch and go like that. You're making a lot of effort. You're making a lot of effort, but that effort is not coming with mindfulness. It's not coming with mindfulness. It's too much effort. You just make the mind work, and you work too much on the mind, then the mind become very bright. Yes, perhaps you use that sitting and touching to overcome sleepiness. So you did that, but you forget that mindfulness has to come together with the noting. But you just only the effort and just go around fast, fast. Then after that, the mind very bright. The mind very bright, but it cannot note anything at all. Just bright only. So, other words, even when you do sitting and touching, it has to come with noting it, and also you move. Although you move around from one object to another object, but it has to come with mindfulness. Usually, my recommendation is that you stay at that spot for a short while, maybe a few noting first. A few notings, you pick up a sensation, you pick up one or two sensation, like its pressure is there, or a little bit of pain is there, or a little bit of pulling is there, or a little bit of warmness or coldness is there. All you need to do is just pick up one or two sensation, then you move to the next one, then the mind balance with it comes with mindfulness. It has come with mindfulness. Then that time, the mind can note things quite clearly. Yeah? After that, the mind can note things quite clearly. Okay. So back again to the lights. As I said, this type of lights, when they are there, the sleepiness is not there. So the Buddha even recommend that certain times we use this light, arouse this light for the sake of to overcome the sleepiness. So how do you do that? So this type of lights, when we arouse the lights, is that you remember something of the past that it is very clear to you, it's very bright to you. For example, mentally, you are looking at the sun. Mentally, you are looking at the moon. For some people, the full moon, it may not be bright enough. The sun maybe is very good. Or maybe you are in a very bright place. Or maybe you are looking at certain spotlight. Just to remember those lights. So just for enough for you to overcome the sleepiness, overcome the drowsiness using the lights. And then once the sleepiness over, the mind alert again, then drop the lights, bring it back to your rising, falling, sitting, touching, and so on. Then the mindfulness will continue from there. Yeah? So most of the time that when we meditate, usually we don't purposely make it to come unless you're already attached to it. Normally, if you don't attach to it, it will come naturally. So when it comes naturally, just note it will do. Yeah, just note it will do, and then you are in the safe. You are still in the safe. You're still in the right path.